Israel's attacks on Iran have sinister motives. President Recep Tayyip Erdoğan made important statements following the cabinet meeting, whose main agenda item was the Iran-Israel war, stating that Israel's attacks on Iran have very comprehensive, insidious aims. President Erdoğan said, with every act of oppression, every drop of bloodshed, and every crime against humanity committed, Israel is gradually putting its own existence and the future of its society at risk. Erdoğan said in his statement, God willing, in a not-too-distant future, we will have achieved a defense capacity that no one will dare to challenge us. President Recep Tayyip Erdoğan addressed the cameras after the presidential cabinet meeting and evaluated the important developments on the agenda. The main points of the statement are as follows. I pray that Allah be pleased with all our brothers and sisters who are celebrating these blessed days by sharing the blessings of the holiday with their families, neighbors, and friends through their charitable deeds and acts of kindness, extending a helping hand to our nation from Africa to Asia, to the farthest corners of our heartland, together with our 81 provinces. I also send my regards to our Palestinian brothers and sisters who are trying to celebrate Eid al-Adha under various hardships due to Israel's despicable attacks, especially in Gaza and the West Bank. Despite some of the ignorant among us, our nation, thank God, has not forgotten the oppressed during this Eid and has strived to fulfill its duty of brotherhood by believing in the blessings of sharing and the power of solidarity. I would also like to congratulate our security forces, who have selflessly carried out their duties for the safety and peace of our citizens. We have seen the importance of the massive investments we have made in our transportation infrastructure. I pray for God's mercy on our brothers and sisters who lost their lives in traffic accidents and for the recovery of the injured. We have made intensive efforts to prevent loss of life. Between June 4th and 9th, 16.3 million vehicles passed through our highways. In other words, more than half of the total number of vehicles in our country were on the roads. Rail systems were used by a total of 2.783 million people. At Istanbul Airport, which faced numerous unfair criticisms from the project phase to its opening, we served 1.152 million passengers. During the same period, 189,470 passengers used Esenboga Airport. Aydın Adnan Menderes airports also broke passenger records on different days. During this process, we once again saw the importance of the massive investments we have made in developing our transportation infrastructure. 2 days ago, we laid the foundation for the Delice-Korum stage of the Ankara-Krikal-Korum-Samsun high-speed railway project. Once the line is completed, there will be a seamless high-speed train connection between Ankara, Krikal, and Korum, with the journey time between Korum and Ankara reduced to 1 hour and 15 minutes. The travel time between Ankara and Samsun will be 2.5 hours. Iran-Israel war region has been experiencing serious tensions, conflicts, and wars for some time now. The Russia-Ukraine war continues with devastating consequences for both sides. Although the tension between Pakistan and India has not escalated into conflict for very long, it remains a potential threat due to the power of the parties involved. Israel has now launched an attack against our neighbor Iran. The attack, carried out under the pretext of targeting Iran's nuclear facilities, is increasingly revealed to have much broader and more sinister objectives. Since Friday, both personally and through our foreign minister, we have been engaged in intensive diplomatic efforts to halt the hostilities. I have held discussions with numerous leaders so far. In these meetings, we drew attention to the threats and dangers that Israel's aggression, which has now reached the level of banditry, poses to our entire region. We stated that the solution to the problem is possible through diplomacy and dialogue. We clearly conveyed to all our interlocutors that Turkey is ready to do whatever is required of us, including facilitating the process. No one can predict what consequences will arise from attempting to resolve issues that could be settled at the negotiating table through the use of weapons, destruction, bloodshed, chaos, and indiscriminate bombing of everything in sight. History is replete with examples of the unexpected consequences of such reckless behavior. Israel, which attacks Iran, destroys Gaza, and acts like a bully toward every country in the region, is not aware of what it is doing. Perhaps it will realize its mistake in the future, but we fear that by then it will be too late. It should not be forgotten that in this ancient geography, no country is limited to its own borders and administration. Israel is risking its own existence. Every incident in the region closely concerns all societies. Attacking the Palestinian people and their lands is not merely an incident limited to a few million people there, nor is attacking Iranian lands and people merely a matter concerning the Iranian state. Especially when Turkey is involved, it is possible to speak of an impact that transcends continents. With every act of oppression, every drop of bloodshed, and every crime against humanity committed, Israel is gradually putting its own existence and the future of its society at risk. As Turkey and the Turkish nation, we are sincerely striving to embrace not only our own citizens but also our friends and brotherly societies, and ultimately all of humanity within the framework of the principles of morality, conscience, justice, and fairness that our civilizational heritage has taught us. God willing, we will continue our efforts not only to promote unity, solidarity, and brotherhood within our own borders, but also to ensure that the same climate prevails in our region. We know better than to live dishonorably above ground. We would rather lie honorably beneath it. We have demonstrated this determination many times throughout our history, which is full of struggles. Avoiding this situation is not achieved by empty rhetoric and vague statements, as some have done. For this, you will work, develop, produce, sweat, and prove your maturity to the whole world. The hardest part is now behind you, as it was not easy to reach this point in 23 years. We take external obstacles for granted, but we have never forgotten, and we will never forget, how some people inside the country tried to sabotage our efforts by criticizing everything we did and creating unnecessary obstacles in the bureaucracy, academia, and media. Whatever we have done it despite these imperialist lackeys who appear to be on our side but shoot arrows at us. At this point, we have entered the ranks of the world's leading countries, especially in the field of unmanned aerial vehicles. We have become a global brand in the field of armored land vehicles. The hardest part is now behind us. We know better than anyone what it means to bring a product to the production stage with its design, software, hardware, and other elements. God willing, in a not too distant future, we will have achieved a defense capacity that no one will dare to challenge. As a state and a nation, we will endure some hardships and make some sacrifices in order to achieve our goals. Let there be no doubt that our government and our alliance are the foundation and guarantee of Turkey's independence and future in this painful period our region is going through. The trust of 86 million people is in safe hands. Those who would even accept the country's weakness in order to weaken the government cannot account for this before history or before the conscience of the people. We hope that the opposition does not repeat the mistake it made at the beginning of the Russia-Ukraine war in order to play to the galleries.